Hello everybody, this is Fully MTG3, and I am here with my standard deck. I play Mardu Mid-Range, and I just wanted to show y'all and talk to y'all about the cards in here and the cards in the sideboard and the land base and stuff and what everything is used for. So yeah, let's get started with creatures. I'm running 2 Nyx-Fleece Rams, 3 Storm Breath Dragons, 4 Butchers of the Horde, and 4 Goblin Rabblemasters. Goblin Rabblemasters, I run 4. It's necessary to run 4 if you're playing Mardu Mid-Range, because if you don't know what it does, 3 mana 2/2. Other goblin creatures attack if able. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, put a 1/1 goblin creature token onto the battlefield with haste. And whenever a goblin attacks, Rabblemaster gets a +1 until end of turn for each attacking goblin. It's crazy. So essentially, say turn 3 you get out Rabblemaster and you automatically have a goblin swinging for 1, so they could either eat it or the damage could go through, and then next turn you're swinging, you have another goblin. So essentially you're swinging with Rabblemaster for 5, which is crazy. And then 2 other goblins. So you're swinging for 7, really. And then there's Butcher. Butcher is more of like a metagame creature. He's a big threat with flying, and he's a 5/4 for 4 mana, which is amazing. And what I like to do is I run Whirling Outburst, which put 3 1/1 red goblin creature tokens onto the battlefield. And what I like to do, or just use Rabblemasters, is I like to sack the goblins for Butcher, giving him lifelink, vigilance, and haste, and whatever. And then metagame, that's a really big threat if you can keep it alive. Then there's Storm Breath Dragon, which I only run 3 of because, I mean, he's 5 mana, and he's a 4/4 with flying, haste, and protection from white, and you can monstrous him. That is a big threat if you get him out, if you have the mana to get him out, and usually he's like metagame and late game and stuff. So it's kind of hard to get him out, but whenever you do get him out, he is crazy. And then there's Nyx-Fleece Ram. I only run 2 of them. 2 mana, 0/5, and gain a life at the beginning of your turn. So, I mean, he's a blocker. Early game blocker. Like, you can block 5 damage. You can block basically anything, and then you gain a life at the beginning of your turn. So, I mean, that's pretty crazy if you ask me. Especially in that deck. This deck. I'm running 4 Lightning Strikes for just early game threats, because a lot of my decks, or a lot of my creatures come out like turn 4, turn 3, or 5, or something like that. If that. That's also not including Nyx-Fleece Ram. There's only 2 of them. There's not a very good chance of pulling them in my starting hand. So I have Lightning Strikes to keep creatures off the battlefield, early game creatures. Hero's Downfalls are big for like big creatures that I can't really handle at that moment in time. Thoughtseize early game. I mean, everyone needs Thoughtseize. If you run black, not everyone, I guess, but it's a very good card. 1 mana, I can take a non-land card from their hand, and I lose 2 life. I mean, still, losing 2 life, I can take planeswalkers, instants, sorceries. It's crazy. Next, Crackling Doom, which I love. Deals 2 damage to each opponent. Each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures he or she controls. 3 mana. That's like... That's... I don't know if it's better than Hero's Downfall, because Hero's Downfall is Planeswalkers too. And it's destroy. They don't have to sacrifice it. But if a creature has like protection from black, you can't use Hero's Downfall in it. Crackling Doom targets the player, which means the player has to sacrifice the creature. And then Hoarding Outburst, y'all saw already. It's just there to help Rabblemaster and Butcher and stuff. Then my land base is pretty simple. Actually, it's not that simple. 3 Battlefield Forges, 3 Bloodstained Mires, which are the fetch lands, 3 Caves of Quellos, 4 Nomad Outpost, 4 like mana fixing and stuff, or Borg. Scored Barons, I'm not, actually I am going to keep that. 2 Swamps and 2 Mountains. I'm thinking about running a 4th Bloodstained Mire. Temple of Silence, 2 Temples of Malice, and a Temple of Triumph. And then for sideboard, I have 3 Erases, just, you know, if I'm playing an enchantment deck. 2 Wingmate Rocks, it's a flying threat, if they have a lot of flying creatures. 2 Despises, if I really need to get stuff like out of their hand, I can take out like Thoughtseize or something. Bioblight. Ooh. That's like heavy tokens and stuff. Mardu Charm. Big creatures. If I need blockers. Or just same thing the Spies does, except a lot more mana. Then there's Chandra. Basically, just sideboard. I can sideboard it against like tokens or really a lot of stuff. Then I have Empty the Pits for extra blockers, which is crazy. But yep, that is Mardu Mid-Range, and this is our second video. Our first video was an intro to the channel. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed. This has been Fully MTG3, signing off.